We are live on the SideQuest, your weekly journey into the wonderful world of video games. I am one of your lovely hosts, Dolly. Joining me, as usual, the one, the only, the _double_J.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing. It's nice, relaxing week for me this week. So
Yeah, that's
yeah,
good. That's good. I like
yeah,
relaxing weeks.
yeah. Every time I've
Uh,
taken a vacation this year, it's been to like go somewhere or do
yeah,
something,
yeah,
and
same.
I'm exhausted. And like this time, I actually just took time off, and I'm not obligated to do anything, and therefore I'm not. It's like, yeah, I'm taking some time off. I'm gonna get on an airplane and fly for several hours to get to Boston, and then from there we're gonna be on our feet the entire time. Nah, not this time.
Not this time, baby.
I'm home, baby, and I'm playing video
Sweet, sweet,
games.
sweet, sweet. Yeah, I am going to be not going anywhere, so that's good. Um, I am actually I take it back. No, I am going somewhere next week. I'm going on vacation next week. Haha! I'm going on cruise on Sunday. My first cruise since like 2 weeks before the pandemic. So it's always good.
Good luck.
Legitimately, we came back March 1st of
Oh
2020.
yeah, it's like
So
when I went to Disneyland at the same exact time around that because I went
yeah,
to
yeah.
Disneyland in February, end of
We were
February.
patience zero and stuff. So
Yeah,
no, I'm going next week, which is going to be great because needed to get away for myself. Like all the travel that I've done. Let's see, I did Boston, which was it's fun, it's great, but it's work. It's not like
yeah,
and I've done Japan twice for work. I did Summer Game Fest for that's not a relaxing time, So it's like, all right, and any days that I've taken off have been for family stuff, like things I have to get done, whether
yeah.
parent or kids or whatever. So yeah, so next week is like legitimately I am on a boat and I don't have to get up from the bed. I can I have paid money just to lay in that bed and I'm totally fine with it. I'm not and eat. So good stuff.
It's
Good stuff.
it's like PAX West. I always have the biggest plans of like, okay, and after the show, I'm gonna go
Yeah, right.
and do some Seattle shit, go some of the, and then by the time I'm like done with the show floor, I like go into my hotel room and like collapse into a heap and have somebody deliver food to me as
Yeah,
opposed to
yeah.
finding. I can't like, yeah, I'm just like, oh wow,
That
this
was
is yeah,
I totally agree. My last day in Japan, my
yeah,
last night there, I'm like, yeah, where should I go for a restaurant? I'm like, man, I've been going out to eat every night, and yeah, of course, I'm in another country, I have to go out to eat. But I'm like, man, I don't want to go far. I don't want to lose. I just want to I'm ready. I was itching to get back home because the workday ended and it was like 7 o'clock, and I'm like, all right, I'm literally just gonna go to the cafe that's attached around the corner from the hotel, and that
hell
was
yeah,
totally Pronto Cafe, man,
yeah.
totally
The
fine.
at PAX West this year, there was an H Mart directly across from my hotels. Which,
Okay,
if anyone doesn't know what an H Mart is, it's just an Asian supermarket chain here, and yeah, that's great. You just get all
yep,
kinds of Asian booze and imported snacks and treats, and it's killer, man. That was a lifesaver.
yeah, agreed, agreed. Well, this is actually the first of a couple, 2 or 3 shows we might be doing this week. We're gonna have a special show tomorrow, potentially, and maybe even do a quick pod later this week. I don't know because like I said, because I'm out on. I fly out Sunday, and I don't come back till Friday. Maybe there's time to do something the Friday I get back. But either way, I want to do one more later this week, whether it's solo or with other folks. We'll figure it out. Regardless, we'll get into some of the news of this week. We do have a couple things to talk about up as we get close to scary season. I did finally decorate for Halloween. Being out of the country sucks because it like the 2 week. I'm gone for 2 weekends because of flights, and then I'm finally back. And this past weekend was finally the weekend that I had free, which was still catching up on stuff. I'm like, okay, I'm finally gonna put the decorations up. So that was a big part. I'm having right now. We have these little tequila rose shots left over from God knows where. I think somebody brought them, like one of our one of our little get-togethers here, and so I'm gonna polish off at least one of these suckers, and they're just kind of like a milky. They're a cream. They're a strawberry cream, so it's a little bit of alcohol in there, but whatever. Surprisingly, some news broke on Friday the 13th that we've been waiting for, gosh darn, like a year and a half, 18 months, something crazy like that. And that was that Xbox has finally completed its purchase of Activision Blizzard. So it's done. It's over. I'm just going to zoom in right there. Look at all those brands and those characters that are all working together now. One big happy family. Now listen, I'm seeing Overwatch, and that's whatever it is these days. I don't know. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. Tony Hawk is now owned by Activision Blizzard and Microsoft. Yeah, that's not a moneymaker, but it's just kind of a neat thing to have. Candy Crush. This is it, man. Yeah. Candy right in the middle. This is all about is Candy Crush, because that makes so much fucking money. And that's insane. I looked at all these and I see Warcraft. I see You haven't heard StarCraft in ages. Nobody's talked about it.
Yeah.
Warcraft has kind of been in and out. People haven't really been talking about that.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know what I'm not seeing on here? Motherfucking Space Quest. Why is Roger Wilco is not being spoken about like he should be? Those are the Sierra Online games are all still technically owned by Activision Blizzard. So
I do like that Sea of Thieves is the very first thing on this chart.
Like we got to talk about Rare somehow, I guess. Yeah. So it looks like they listed a couple games from a few of their studios.
Just put Banjo-Kazooie up there. Yeah. People would be happy with Banjo-Kazooie.
Even if it's just the freaking the version from Smash Brothers, put Banjo up there. It's totally fine. But you see a bunch of their things in there. They put out this sort of sentimental hype video. I want to go ahead and look for it. It's meant, it's all about the love and how you have these just cherished moments in gaming and da-da-da-da. But really, it's just money for Candy Crush and Call of Duty Warzone. Like, legit, those are the only two things. Because Overwatch isn't making money. Warcraft not making the money that it used to. Diablo was an interesting one.
Yeah.
I don't know how much money it makes.
Out the gate, it was doing really well. But like once the new season started, it fell off a cliff.
And they actually delayed the season. The second season launched today, and they delayed it by like 4 hours, something like that.
Yeah, it's weird to see the Senua games in the middle there. Like, I guess that's a franchise they're trying to make a thing. Like, people really liked the original one. I think people kind of forget that there's another one being made.
So what's interesting in this is I look at this as like, all right, Overwatch multi-platform. Tony Hawk, multi-platform. Candy Crush, mobile but multi-platform. Doom, multi-platform. Fallout, it's multi-platform up until 76, I guess it was. StarCraft PC.
There hasn't been anything since 76, so it's not like it's multi-platform currently.
I guess you could say that,
What the future holds, we can't really say anything about. Whatever Fallout.
StarCraft is PC multi-platform. I guess PC, whatever.
PC Crash Bandicoot, and Nintendo 64.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, which we'll be talking about in a little bit here. Crash Bandicoot multi-platform, Minecraft multi-platform, Diablo multi-platform.
Minecraft goes beyond multi-platform.
Because that was before Microsoft purchased them. It was
it's like every platform, and we say every platform, we mean literally every platform.
This bottle of Tequila Rose has Minecraft playing on it. It's really bizarre. Like I said, Diablo, Warcraft, Call of Duty, Elder Scrolls. I mean, all of these are except for this Elder Scrolls 6. All these are multi. There's a lot of multi-platform stuff, and obviously they're the big IPs, and a bunch of these could very well go exclusively to Microsoft, and that's fine. It all depends on resources. It all depends on pipeline and development timing and the console behind it. regardless, none of these games are going to be appearing on Game Pass until at least early next year, some point next year. So I'm guessing this is going to be part of their big Xbox, Xbox event at what formerly E3, whatever that is. Minecraft stinks. That's right. Totally agree. Never played it. Yeah. But I think they'll probably be saying, on Game Pass now you can get Diablo 4 for those last few folks. Like, I'm now officially holding off on any Call of Duty game because it's going to be on Game Pass eventually.
I hope that this means they go back. They're like, okay, now that we own Microsoft, we are going to
or Activision, or vice versa, whatever.
Yeah, Activision. We're gonna revive the Tony Hawk 3 and 4 remake. That we were working on.
Are a ton of back catalog games that Activision Blizzard King own.
Yeah, it's a lot of the games that, like, anytime a game just kind of did okay, Activision just took the studio and made them work on Call of Duty content.
Yep, exactly.
It's like Raven was just like, Raven was a great studio. A couple of mediocre games came out that kind of underperformed, and now it's now they're just part of the multiplayer team for Call of Duty and shit. So, like, what was it? Like Neversoft. I mean, like the Tony Hawk people were just like, okay, well, Vicarious Visions. I can't, like, both of them were just like, okay, well, we're just gonna fold you into the Call of Duty.
It's wild to think, though, some things that people aren't talking about. You mentioned Raven Software, which were great because they made that awesome 7 out of 10 Singularity, one of my favorite games of the Xbox 360 generation.
And my other favorite 7 out of 10 Xbox 360 game, Wolverine.
They made that. That's technically a part of it because Activision, I think. They also have, well, not Raven, but now Activision also has the complete Wolfenstein saga, because that was published by Activision. There was that one, right? That was, so now that whole, I could see them
Return to Castle Wolfenstein.
Yeah, whatever that one was that was out in 2011 or 12 or whatever it was. But yeah, I could see them now pushing some of those games out there. I'd love to see those classic I love Call of Duty 2, which died years ago, right? That was my first Xbox 360 game, was Call of Duty 2. That, and I think FIFA. I thought, I'm hopping onto, they were both launch titles, and Fight Night. It's great. But Call of Duty, Call of Duty 2 was the one that really kind of put Call of Duty on the map with that generation before COD 4, obviously, because
Call of
Duty Infinity Ward.
I remember playing Call of Duty 3 because it was an early Wii game and how terrible it was.
Yeah,
the motion controls are so bad in Call of Duty 3 on the Wii.
I hope they put the Wii version on here. I hope they do. I hope they do put a lot of these other versions of these games on here, because that would actually be best. Anyways, there is a lot of shit now that's there are possibilities, and I think down the line, I still firmly believe that Game Pass is going to make its way onto other platforms. We already know now that it's official. Call of Duty is officially coming to the Switch in the near-ish, probably. I mean, not next year, but maybe the Switch 2 in the year after. Who knows? Maybe there's something being worked on there. But it's I mean, keep get some of these games onto other platforms, and we're all good. And
I can really imagine them badly wanting that Warzone on a Nintendo platform for all of that. Just like, that is a whole untapped market of of microtransactions for us to
that alone. Yeah, it's 130 million consoles. Basically, it's going to hit after this year. That there'll be Switches out there, and of course, everybody has a Switch. They likely have one of the other consoles, anyways. But imagine getting Warzone on the Switch for like around the world. Really, you look at Japan, look at where the Switch is massive. I mean, there's good money. There's a good infusion of money once some of those properties start popping up on the Switch and other places. So we'll see. Activision was notorious for making just the shittiest decisions when it came to how they're putting their games. I mean, they made a ton of money, but they could have made a lot more money,
Yeah.
and maybe with Microsoft's help, we could get some fun games.
It was like when CM Punk called Vince McMahon a millionaire who should be a billionaire. It's that
Yeah,
kind of
exactly. Which was just fantastic, just fantastic. Speaking of Microsoft properties, Minecraft has now officially sold over 300 million copies, which is insane, and it's almost as much as Candy Crush. Although Candy Crush is free.
Yeah, Candy Crush doesn't. Candy
Yeah.
Crush, you don't have to have the initial sale
Yeah.
to get. Like, people are willingly buying 300 million copies of Minecraft. Just
I
because
wonder if some of these are, if they're including like educational versions, which are school and
even
other
so,
things. I
like,
don't know. But
the
still,
thing about Minecraft is that it is going to be multiple generations first game. Every day, people are getting into the age range where Minecraft is understandable to them now. This will be their first game, so it's not like a lot of things where after a couple of years, a Mario game kind of just ages out or whatever. It's just like it's never somebody's first game anymore. So it's Minecraft is just its potential is endless in terms of how they can sell it. Like there's never going to be a Minecraft 2 because it doesn't need to, and you can buy it on everything.
It's like when I'm using Microsoft Word for stuff. Like, I don't like this new version of Word. I'm gonna use Word 2 from the 3.1 era. That's the one I'm gonna use. No, you're gonna get the newest one because it's the most full featured, and it is a service. This is game as a service, is what Minecraft.
This is the ultimate. This is like the truest form of game as a service, because it's a lot of the stuff is incremental, and a lot of the stuff that you can buy is cosmetic, but also there are some and there are other features, there are mods, it's just endlessly expansive. Like I don't care about Minecraft, but that's mostly because I'm bad at it. My brain doesn't my brain, like, you sit there and you have like I've sat down and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do something for real in Minecraft. And then I get
keep blinking this. No,
and then I just get immediately overwhelmed. I'm like, this is why I only do Lego sets with instructions.
No, it's the same with me. I'm I can't play Minecraft because it's kind of overwhelming for me, and I need something with some at least a minimal level of a plot, which is why I gravitated towards the Dragon Quest game, the Dragon Quest version, which was a Minecraft Builders. Yeah, thank you. And I like that for because it actually had a plot to it, and I could build stuff and do something. Yeah, it was very remedial Minecraft, but I could kind of enjoy it. But at the same time, now I see the one thing that they're missing from Minecraft is like what Roblox is doing, which is besides exploiting youth, but building a whole economy into it. And I think eventually down the line, Minecraft will end up doing something like building an economy. It's like, hey, we're gonna have Minecraft spaces now, or Minecraft projects, whatever they want to call it, which is you can go in and buy the app that somebody created within Minecraft and using all the redstone on the planet or whatever. But I think Minecraft is still endless right now because it is such the most open world sandboxy thing.
And there are things like there are things that you can go and do. You can go, fight the Ender Dragon or whatever. Like you have to prepare for that. You just can't go run in and do it. There are stuff that you can like do that's sort of thematically unnecessary, but like it is a quest that you can sort of give yourself and shit like that. So
speaking of Microsoft stuff, Pete Hines, who is the Bethesda, he has been the face of Bethesda next to Todd Howard for so many years. 24-year run. Finally giving it the calling it quits and saying he's done. Now, I've met Pete like twice, and it's been very brief. Dude loved every time I talked to him. say what you will about, executives, but he really does love Bethesda, does love his gig, loves getting the word out to put. I mean, he is Phil Spencer, like, plays the part of a gamer when you hear him, because he's sort of a marketing CEO, but Pete Hines is a gamer, like, through and through. Like, he's playing everything, and he's in deep. He's done, like, some, even though he's marketing, he's even got some, like, development stuff in him, and very, very people person. Also, always super nice to chat with. But yeah, 24 years is a long time to be with a company. By the way, I'm on my 24th year next year with this company that I've been working at. No shit, wait. My 25th year is next year. Oh shit, Pete, you and I both leaving it. I should leave at the same time. I should. Hey, Pete, my boss isn't listening. So he joined in 99. I joined my company in 2000, and I haven't left like a sucker. But no, it's he was one of the faces. Microsoft right now is so big because of picking up Bethesda, because of picking up Activision, because everything else. And I think maybe part of their structure is changing. Like, Microsoft, their corporate structure is going to slowly start affecting all of these studios, just for cohesion and getting processes out there. And now, they may have been Pete Hines used to probably love using Skype and Zoom, but now he's got to use Teams, and he's like, fuck it, I'm out. Get out of here. So, I think it's good for him finally leaving. That's a hell of a long time to be with one company.
Yeah.
And especially in the games industry. You don't see that at all. But yeah, no, good for him. And last but not least, speaking of things that have been a long time, 24 years, some might say, since we saw something in the pre-Pete Hines era. Pete was probably playing this, or a version of this, the N64, when he started at Bethesda. And guess what? Analog is making the Analog 3D, which is a N64 playing device. Wireless Bluetooth, 2.4G, 4 front controller ports. That's amazing. FPGA, obviously, the analog. What I love is they continue to do no emulation. So it's like you pop that cartridge in there, and it's playing that cartridge, essentially playing that cartridge. But 4K resolution, which is just you. Go ahead, JJ. I knew what you were saying in our Discord. I thought it was brilliant.
It's like, that is not the dream you think it is. Boy, man, no way. I as much as I love the N64, and I love these hardware and stuff. 4K resolution is unnecessary.
Yeah, it is.
To an extreme, especially because it's not like it's like doing it through like Dolphin or that kind of shit where you can do that sort of up-resing kind of stuff. It's like this is just FPGA, so you're just kind of making default Nintendo 64 visuals 4K, and I'm not interested in that. I spent the money on the Eon 64, which is the adapter that plugs into the back, and that's doing a really good job at putting Nintendo 64 visuals out in HD. And when I say HD, I mean 720p, but it's not really 720p. It's really just putting it out in 480p. And it has a button that lets you turn on like a filter that's kind of smooths it out, but doesn't go crazy. On top of that, it has it makes it so you don't lose there's no latency with controller presses and stuff, because a lot of the HDMI, when it's just an HDMI like RGB to HDMI, terrible latency problems. So.
Sure.
So this will be interesting to see.
Controller.
I
want to like freaking. I'm like, I want to hit this in Photoshop and see like the buttons. Everything looks really nice. Analog does a great job with their design. I'm like, it's a great job with their design, but
like you can see that the analog stick is on the left hand side in this.
But will they have?
They're not. It's not. It's not going to have the middle handle. No. I'll never understand people like confused about the purpose of having 3 handles, as if you're supposed to hold all 3.
At
Like
the
that
same
was never
time, no.
like that was never no game ever asked that for you.
Nope.
It was either you're gonna hold the D-pad and the buttons or the handle and the buttons. There was
Right.
never like a switching back and forth. The
It literally
closest
was
we
just
got,
Nintendo not knowing how to do that yet. How
nobody
to put
knew
them so
nobody
close.
knew
No one
where to
knew.
put the
Nope.
analog stick. It may like it, especially when it was just single analog, you didn't have to do anything
Yeah.
Special. Like the game is going to be analog or the game is going to be digital, and that's it. And a digital game didn't need the Z button, so it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Like the only time I can ever think of it being a serious problem was like the N64 wrestling games. If you didn't have a thumb long enough to do a finishing move, then you were screwed.
That's true.
But
anybody who plays the analog, anybody who plays N64 games on the Switch knows what the controller is gonna. It's basically what the controller is gonna feel like and work like.
Yeah,
essentially that.
Boy, it's misery
hit or
playing
miss. Hit or miss.
Nintendo 64 games on the Switch. If you don't have a Nintendo 64 controller, because the button mapping is a mess. You've played I played GoldenEye on the N64 or on the Switch Online, and boy, that was a nightmare. But yeah, no, this device, this analog does great work.
Yep.
Like, you know, I think this is going too far in maybe, but it is cool that it's region free, so you can play PAL territory games. I don't know how much this is going to cost. This is going to cost, but knowing how much, like the what was it? The Super NT was like $500 or something.
Sure.
For like this, like, and even the analog pockets, you know, like what, 300, 350?
Something like that. Yeah, they're always expensive.
They're always expensive, and I feel like this is going to be
like
the most expensive of their things. I mean, we're probably looking at like modern console prices.
This will be $500. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this will be this will cost you more than a Switch for sure.
Yep. Which is wild.
Yeah.
It's like, if you want to get an HD, if you want to get a device for HD, an HD device that plays games that were never meant to be played in HD from like 40 years ago or whatever, you know, it costs $200 or whatever to get the but you know what I'm curious about is will this have access to stuff like the 64DD? You know, or the I mean, that stuff was actually kind of interesting. Will that I don't know. I mean, I don't who's gonna have one of those devices lying around. They were so freaking rare in Japan, let alone they didn't come to the US. But yeah, I don't know. I'm whatever. If it looks cool, I'm just curious what the sucker's gonna look like. It definitely has this sort of the swooshy feel to the that big old platform monolithic feel of the N64. You know what? Put on a Saturn or put on a Dreamcast, man. Still surprised that they haven't even. I mean, I think because the discs are probably a little bit more of a licensing fear than the other stuff, but who knows? Well, anyways, analog, good stuff, analog. That's it for the news. We have been playing some games, and I'm going to talk about one of the games because it is spooky season.
Also, I do want to say before we move on from the Nintendo 64, because Nintendo 64 games are very, very expensive, especially
they are
the ones that you want. So like you're not really gaining anything. You're going to buy an expensive console, and then if you want the Nintendo 64 games you grew up with, well, unfortunately,
it's almost as much as the console.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you want fucking Conker's Bad Fur Day, my friend, it's going to cost you $200 to get a pretty decent copy of Conker's Bad Fur Day for the Nintendo 64. So good luck. Anyways,
there are bootleg versions out there. I don't even know if they made bootlegs of those things.
Well, I mean, you can get an Evercart. Like, listen, I don't care. Get an Evercart. It's not you're. It's not emulation, but it is now. You've now turned it into emulation because
essentially, yeah. The EverDrive, whatever that is, EverCart, yep. All right, well,
the spooky season.
The spooky season. Now, 3 years ago, we were going to do that spooky show, and I think we recorded one episode.
We did one episode. We did.
I'll replay it again.
Episode,
but I figured, it is spooky season. I wasn't going to play a spooky game. I was going to continue plowing through the games that I have because, this week is like at least 2 Game of the Year worthy games are coming out this week, right?
Yeah,
In
Sonic the
Sonic
Hedgehog,
Superstars
Sonic
and
Superstars, and
Masonic.
yeah,
The Hedgehog. No, you have Spider-Man and Mario coming out this week. And I thought I'm going to definitely circle on Mario because I'm going to be going on this cruise next week. So I figured that would be a good one to take with me. And I was going to continue working through my backlog, which I have been. I'm almost done with Mario and Rabbids 2. Oh, excuse me, Sparks of Hope. Which, like I said last week or last couple times, it's a really fun game. And now unfortunately, it takes until the third world out of, I think there's like 5 worlds total, but the third world is where things really get interesting in terms of gameplay mechanics. Because by now you've opened up everything. You can actually do stuff in the overworld maps, and the maps are big. There's lots of like secrets and stuff, so they're much more interactive. The first couple maps aren't very interactive, so it's not as much as the third one. But anyways, it's I'm really digging it. I'm almost on that. But the game that I have been playing, I got a review code, out of the blue. They're like, hey, listen, it's spooky season. You probably have a lot on your plate, but we're going to send you a review code for something if you'd like it. And I said, you know what? Yeah, send it to me. And that was a review code for a game called Haunted House. Now, you remember 2022's, or is it Haunted House or Haunted Mansion? Haunted House?
Haunted House. Haunted Mansion's the Disney thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
You remember 2022's Haunted House remake, which is a part of the Atari 50 collection.
Yeah,
right?
They did like a funky little special,
like a 3D-ish dungeon,
played a lot like the Atari version of Haunted House. Like
it did.
Yes. Just in 3 dimensions. Yeah,
exactly. So they tried to make it a 3-dimensional Haunted House version, and it was at best, it just was not fun. It
was a novelty.
It was totally, and it literally wasn't. I was like, I'm gonna play this one time. I died. I'm done.
Yeah.
They have remade Haunted House. Now, what Atari has done is this is a completely new take on Haunted House.
Yeah.
And let me share the.
I played a bit of this at PAX. Yeah.
Oh, did you? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Where is it? I thought I played it here. I thought I did. Where is it? Oh, here it is. I passed by the trailer like 4 times. Okay. This Haunted House is a roguelike, just like the other one.
In this house.
This ain't the other versions of Haunted House. This is surprisingly fun. This is actually fun. It's actually pretty surprisingly enjoyable. It is an isometric Haunted House roguelite. So you're still going through this mansion, your uncle's mansion, his uncle's haunted house. You can sneak around. You can kind of use that little light as almost like a what do they call it? Like a proton pack. But essentially, your uncle's lost in his mansion. You went to go look for him. And then your friends get lost because that's just how video games work. The mansion's overrun by ghosts and like monsters and stuff. And everybody's separated. And you have to find everybody and find your uncle, basically. So pretty typical style of a story, whatever. It's definitely an arcade, Atari-ish style story. But it's charming because it has a little bit of that Luigi's Mansion feel. Now, Luigi's Mansion borrows a lot from Haunted House.
Yeah.
In a real modern version and the Mario version. This takes the Luigification of some of that and the feel of the house and the feel of the space, which I really like in this. There's actual like space. Everything is really highly detailed. Everything's hand-drawn. Beautiful designs. I mean, it's oddly enough. So this is a roguelite. So there's a little bit, essentially you can go through the house. You can find gems, and then you can use those gems later on for like permanent upgrades and that kind of stuff with like health and attack and all that kind of thing. Attacking is very minimum in this. Action is very minimum. Your whole goal is to sneak around and open chests and find keys and just make it through this house. There's only like 5 areas in this house.
I like horror games that rely more on not dying than like fighting back. Like,
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's more about like sneaking around and setting
Yeah.
traps and avoiding than anything
Yeah.
else. And so yeah, there she's using the proton pack there, and you can open certain things. You can sneak around some of these monsters. So like it's very light dungeon crawling, right? It's definitely built more on exploration, and it's definitely like an adventure game because you have like a small inventory of things that you can pick up, and the inventory is like health items and traps and like throw some sticky bombs and that kind of stuff. That definitely hide and seek and stuff in there, yeah. But so you walk around, you find the chests, because obviously haunted houses need chests for some reason. It's a video game. Chests have traps, waffles for like restoring life. I'm like reading from my notes here because I think it's prudent. But it's really all about like I said, the sneaking and the exploration and the jump scares. Like you can get away from these monsters fairly easily, and if you get caught, only if your health goes down do you. And you get a pretty chunky amount of health when you're first playing the game. So only if your health obviously gets down to nothing, you get reset at the beginning. But and then obviously you can upgrade all that stuff with every subsequent playthrough. But I liked some of the interaction with the ghosts and the monsters, like in one area, and real early on, I had to get past this big nose creature called the cephalus. I think you get a little like inventory, tells you what all the different monsters and items are. You get a journal, and this monster is called the cephalus. It's this big like nose looking thing, which is really funny. And he's sleeping, kind of snoring. You see the little Z's popping up like in this video, and you have to sneak around him. You have to turn off the light, so you hold the left trigger button. I'm playing on the Steam Deck, which is it's not optimized for Steam Deck, but it functions really well. I didn't have any issues with it, just tiny text. And as I'm sneaking around, I like accidentally bump into a statue and it falls over and it wakes up the monster and I get sent back, right? So it's not like you don't lose a ton of health. You lose a little bit of your health and you get back to the point, but the stuff has been activated. So like the statue's already busted. So you can go right to where it was and not worry about knocking it over again, which is, again, I think it's good in that way because you can kind of map out your path and knock certain things over if you're not if you have enough life, HP and kind of make your way through that way. So I found that kind of charming. I don't know. I sneaking around these sleeping monsters and getting away from people and running and doing these little rolls over like spike traps and stuff. It's pretty good. Very light battle sequences. You can like pick up. You saw some of the monsters in the video, but you can pick up like traps and chuck the traps at monsters and that stuns them. And then you can roll past them or run past them and get out. Like there's no real like monster killing. It's all about like stunning and staying away. And I kind of like the simplicity. And really the game's only like 2-3 hours, 4 hours. It's not a long game. It's the perfect length. It's not aimed for like us old dudes to like sit down and dissect. This really is like, hey, give it to your preteen. It's got a little bit of jump scare. It's definitely a spooky game. Some of those jump scare aspects. I like the way that the map is set up. So you're going through these different parts of this house. It's definitely a spooky-ish haunted house. They did a good job in developing that. The hand-drawn artwork is great. The game's short. It feels short. It feels to the point. But the roguelite aspect is kind of cool. It's funny. You don't even really need to go through the roguelite aspect because I think I made it really far on my first run and was surprised that I made it that far and how I'm rescuing people and stuff. I was like, oh shit, I may not need to restart this thing. But it's a small game, and you can sit on your couch and you can watch a movie and do the majority of the runs while watching a Halloween spooky movie, or you give it to your kid and they'll knock it out, or give it to like a neighbor's kid if you don't have a kid, or if you don't know how many kids you have, which is in your case, JJ, you have all those kids. But you can, it's a good game for that age range. I was surprised at how successful they were in pulling this together. Did not see this was it Orbit Studio developed this for?
Yeah, I
did not see this game coming out.
Yeah, I looked them up. They haven't really done anything any of us would know.
Guess what? They did a good job with this because there's a little bit of Maniac Mansion feel to it, which I appreciate. Cool little house design, cool game design.
I do like the house logo. The word house kind of looks like the house from the Full House logo.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Yeah, a little bit of Full House, haunted Full House. But totally
Yeah,
surprised. This is legit. This is a fun game to play with somebody else, like with
yeah,
kids or whatever. I think
like I
it's a good
said,
fun game with that.
yeah, like I said on the PAX show after talking with them and with some of the stuff that I've played, this is a different like
Yeah.
Atari's different right now. Like there's still some really like garbage stuff that they're doing off in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
distance, the hotel stuff and the
Yeah.
NFT stuff and the blockchain stuff is still kind of the VCS and all that. It's still kind of junky, but like the game side of things is pretty
Yeah, they're
sick.
getting there. They really
Yeah,
are.
yeah, and like even that 2600 that's coming out like next
Yeah.
week or something.
Oh, is it
Like,
really? Oh, wow.
yeah, that thing's cool, and I like the idea of like it's the opposite of the analog N64, where
Yeah.
it's using emulation, but it only plays cartridges.
Yeah.
But the good news is Atari cartridges are cheap.
Yeah. They're
So
really cheap.
the only
They're
time they're
really
expensive is when they're like obscurities. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
like Custer's Revenge is
Whatever.
an
Yeah.
expensive game, where meanwhile, E.T. not an expensive game.
Yeah.
Surprising.
But anyway, so like I said, they did a good job with this. They outsourced it to the right company, the right dev
Yeah.
studio. I think they did a good job with it. I can recommend this game. Again, it's not going to set the world on fire, but this time of year, you're looking for spooky games and you don't want to do anything crazy, go for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you have, my dude? You have a game that you started talking about a little bit last week, and I think you're gonna go all in this week.
Yeah, because it
All
just
in-ish.
it came out the day that we started talking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it, and then this is not a review or anything. This is just what I've been playing that I can talk about, because there are review stuff that we'll talk about sooner than later. But yeah, this is the new Forza Motorsport. When it comes to racing games, this is the type of racing game that I like. The Simi Motorsport, Gran Turismo, Forza Motorsport, Project Cars.
Yep.
I want menus. I don't necessarily care too much about like open world racers. I just kind of want to futz around in menus and then go into a race and stuff. And for the most part, you get that with Forza Motorsport, but I kind of don't like what they did with sort of how you create the progression is the best way to put it, because like it definitely wants to be an esport game.
I've heard a couple folks say that already.
Yeah, because everything that's the progression and all of that is definitely geared towards keeping things balanced for as long as they can. And also like so much of the stuff, like when you go online, it has like it's like you have to sort of commit to sort of the race mode for online races, because it's sort of like race weekend and stuff. And it's just like, you have to do the practice laps. You have to do all this stuff. It's to keep you sort of competitive and fair and not a dipshit. It's their way of kind of weeding out the people that are just there to trade paint.
Sure.
And it just has different, like, there are different, like, rule sets. Like beginner mode, you can do whatever you want. If you're on like an intermediate, like there are penalties. Like, you'll get like, you can trade paint, but if you get in an accident that you could have avoided, you'll get penalized. And if you like shortcut a corner, you'll get penalized and things like that. And then if you go like full sim, it'll be like everything that would be sort of illegal in a race is illegal in a race. Like don't bump and grind. Don't go past the rumble bars, all that kind of stuff. So like, yeah, they keep making you do like, I like the idea of like, make me do the practice laps before I get to my, like, cause that's how racing works. If you go in, you got to do your qualifying laps and practice to tune things in and stuff. That's cool. But it sort of strips the sim part away from it when it makes you grind per car. So when you get in a car and you start a series, like if it's your first time driving this car, you really don't have access to a lot of upgrades.
Sure.
You have to level up that car to get access to more upgrades. and the upgrades are kind of like locked behind like career points and things like that. So instead of just earning money to buy car parts, so like if I just wanted to jump ahead, in traditional Gran Turismo or Forza Motorsports, you buy the car that you want, grind for a little bit, and pay money to get it to the level you want it to be at. And that's kind of gone now, because you kind of have to drive the car to be able to earn the privilege of getting, I think I posted a picture on like a clutch, like a race clutch.
Sure.
Like, that's not how racing works.
No.
If you have the money, you can do it, kind of thing. So it's kind of a weird way, but again, it's all at the name of what feels like esports. It feels like they want to do what Gran Turismo had been doing, but Gran Turismo, like, because Gran Turismo is still like the community for like the pro scene is still pretty active. Gran Turismo sports stuff is still relatively active. I mean, the stuff that was the focus of that movie is still kind of going on in its own little way off there. If you boot up Gran Turismo 7, you can watch some of this, like professional Gran Turismo stuff and things.
Sure.
So it's kind of weird. It's just like Gran Turismo, Forza has never been this way before. So them sort of wanting to pander to a crowd that I'm not entirely sure is there, is weird. Like, I like playing it. It's a beautiful game, but the grind kind of sucks. Like, I'm not a big fan of like it. I want to be able to, I have earned this money. I want that money to be able to do with it what I want in a racing game. It's different. Like,
sure.
Like, because you're just trying to make things, you're putting fake walls in front of me and my aspirations. You're like, I've been playing these games since before the first, like, I've been playing Gran Turismo since Gran Turismo 1, and before that it was like Need for Speed and things like that, these games that were seen as sim games,
and Test Drive before that.
Test Drive, exactly. That was really the one I was thinking of in the back of my head. And like the original Need for Speed was like Car and Driver Magazine presents Need for Speed.
Oh yeah, that's right, yeah.
But like, you're holding my hand and I don't need it. Like, I know what I'm doing. You don't need to walk me through this and sort of force me. Outrun, was that Outrun was strictly an arcade game. That was not particularly. It wasn't even. It was barely a racing game, because it really was just like a time trial, like
something like that.
It was just I like Outrun a lot. That 360 Outrun was so good, like Outrun 2 or something it was. That shit was good. But yeah, no, I just let me play the fucking game. Let me go about the career mode in a sensical way. Like, let me buy the car that fits into that and tune it up. I have let me use the money to tune this car how I want it to be tuned. Money shouldn't be money should just be the end all be all in a racing game, especially a racing sim game.
Are there microtransactions in this?
Probably. I mean, like, I haven't really dug too deep into like that stuff, because it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't really matter that much, because you're just kind of like, because you're kind of forced into a grind. But there is a store, so I'm going to assume there's probably something going on in the background that I don't know about. But there is a season pass and all that stuff. So car packs and why are you just stopping? Oh, okay, just showing off the.
It's just showing off the different things. Sorry.
When you boot up, because I'm playing it mostly on my Series X, because that's just kind of the best platform I have for it. When you boot it up, like I booted it up on my laptop, fine, but you don't get the same sort of level of fidelity. And I actually booted it up on the Ally, and it actually runs surprisingly well on the Ally. I think it was like 45 frames per second, which is pretty good for. I had a little
the ROG Ally that you have.
Yeah.
Hardware review time.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like, you get your options. Do you want performance? Do you want visuals, or do you want like a combination where it's like, if you go visuals, it's like full ray tracing and stuff, but you can do like partial ray tracing, and It's pretty. I mean, this game is gorgeous, and the
It
physics
looks
are
it, yeah.
the physics are second to none. Like you feel the difference significantly with all the weather. Like it doesn't matter what the weather is. If it's just windy, you can feel it. If it's the difference between rain is like noticeable. Like if it's just normal rain, it's a little slick. If it's a downpour and it's causing puddles on the track and shit like that, like that's stuff that's been in Forza games since the Xbox One era.
Yeah,
Horizon 3 and 7 and stuff
they've
like
talked
that.
about it. Check out. We've made the tires
Yeah.
actually react to the
But like
to the
But like this
asphalt.
is the first time where it like
Yeah,
feels like everything has
sure.
come together. Like the mechanics of it all is absolutely perfect. The way
It
the
looks
cars
stunning. I mean,
feel like
the Z car, everything is
yeah,
there. I mean,
I
I look
love
at all
like
these, I'm like, eh.
there's no music playing in the races
Oh,
for the
really?
most part. I'm pretty sure it's something you could turn on, but I don't because I like to hear the sounds.
Yeah, me too.
And like you can hear the body creak like going in the turns and
Yeah,
stuff. It is like
just like my car when it
yeah,
creaks.
it's just like it's like
Sweet.
so like the sound design is like that was always one of my favorite parts of Gran Turismo was
Uh-huh.
the sound design was always insane. Um
Sure.
and this one is probably as it stands right now
Dope.
like better than Gran Turismo's sound
Nice.
design. I think Gran Turismo has a better aesthetic overall.
Okay.
Um and the
Yeah, I think you're right.
yeah, I think
It feels like it. There's more life to the Gran Turismo.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the ray tracing doesn't really do a lot of justice
Mhm.
in this. Like it's cool, but you never really get to enjoy the ray tracing because it's always like the refraction off of the car
Sure.
next to you and stuff and things like that. But like Gran Turismo saves the ray tracing for replays, and boy,
Hmm.
does it like man. I think visually I like Gran Turismo a little more, but Forza Motorsport is no slouch by any stretch of the
Sure.
imagination. Sound design's better, but I think the sim part of Gran Turismo is better than Forza's sim part of it. So,
Cool. I
yeah,
mean, it's on Game Pass, so it's
it's on Game
free,
Pass. You're not going to go
essentially.
wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, like you could see, like you notice these don't cost money.
Yeah.
It costs like whatever your fucking
Car points, credit
yeah,
points. Yeah.
combat points or whatever the fuck. Like it's
Combat
like
points.
it's a Street Fighter thing or something. Like it's weird. It's I don't like it. I don't like this part of it. I don't like the upgrade
Mhm.
process at all.
You know what I loved in older Forza games was that you could bring your cars over from the previous Forza game into
Yeah,
the latest. That was such a cool thing. I loved doing that. Or if it couldn't
yeah,
bring that specific car over, it gave you like
the equivalent.
it gave you equivalent or gave you a bunch of free stuff or whatever. And
Yeah,
I love that
I mean
aspect.
that's the thing. Like these games always recognize if you played previous ones, like because like
Yeah.
it gave me a Forza Horizon 5 suit and a free car just for being a long time Forza player or
Yep.
whatever. And
Yep.
and you kind of always get because remember they used to have that Forza app,
Yeah.
the
On the
Forza hub,
360 and the
the
one
hub,
or the one,
yeah.
whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you could just like open it up and it would just give you like money every
All
week
this.
just
Yep.
for and cars and stuff. That shit was cool. I think that's gone
That
now, but
community aspect of stuff in
yeah,
that era, the previous
yeah.
era of Xbox was really
Yeah.
cool. But I
Yeah,
mean, yeah,
Xbox
I'll
Series
get
X,
this,
like
but still,
we've
yeah,
lost all of the community with the Xbox shit. It's so
yeah.
weird. So weird how much of the community like disappeared.
That's the
They
issue for me is that
yeah,
they're like the community is like gone in Xbox stuff,
yeah,
But
yeah.
well,
It's yeah.
cool. Forza. I mean, it's got
It's
some
good.
iconic cars in there. I'll definitely be picking
Yeah.
it up.
Oh
I
yeah.
haven't had a chance to because
It's
there's a million other things, but guess what? It's free. It's on
it's
there.
also
I don't.
huge.
Is it
Keep in
really?
mind it's like
All
130
right,
gigs or
nice.
something. So start your download as soon as possible.
Hmm. I can finish it by the time the Activision games start to show up on
Yeah.
Game Pass. Forza
Forza.
Motorsport. Very nice. Yeah. Always some this I reckon the next few weeks are just gonna be continue to be terrible for us.
Yeah.
Uh
I mean, we
with
got
everything that people's things are coming out and
like
indies are coming
yeah,
out. And,
I joke, but like I am gonna play that Sonic game.
yeah.
I am gonna I mean Mario, Spider-Man, Alan Wake.
Here's
The
Alan Wake 2, that's right.
Metal
Yeah.
Gear collection is next week too.
Yeah. Let's see what else is there.
There's definitely.
I got Detective Pikachu that I picked
that's supposed to be trash.
WarioWare. Well, so listen, here's the mistake I made. Best Buy was doing that buy 2 Switch games, get a third one free for essentially any Switch game. So I'm like, shit, I'm gonna load up on all these pre-orders that I want. I'm gonna get this and this and this. So I had pre-ordered when that went live. I pre-ordered Pikmin 4, and I pre-ordered Mario Wonder and Mario RPG. And I thought, cool, those 3 games for sure. That's what I'm happy with that. And then, you know what? I did WarioWare, I did Detective Pikachu, and I did, I think, Pikmin 1 and 2 or whatever it was for like $2.99 or $3.99, whatever they were. I'm like, sweet. I'm getting, these are games that I was going to spend this much money on games. Now I'll get a free one. Whether I like it or not doesn't really matter. It's free. But so I scoped out the games that I wanted. I was all excited. And then I thought, I'm going to get that Metal Gear collection. I'm going to get that Sonic game, and I'm going to get something else. And I had games. I had that ready to go pre-ordered. And then I thought, instead of that Metal Gear game, I think I'm going to get a different collection. I'm going to get a different thing. So I canceled that collection on Best Buy. And I kept thinking, I'm going to re-up this soon. And then they announced the Super Princess Peach. I'm like, all right, fuck yeah. I'm going to get Super Princess Peach and put that in I'm going to, buy 2, get that free or whatever. So I was going to do that. But then I realized, the day before I did that, I ended up they announced the sweet cards for the Walmart exclusive for Mario Wonder. I'm like, fuck, those cards are going to go for so much money, man. It's the smartest pre-order ever. People are card crazy right now. So I pre-ordered the Walmart one, obviously, and I went to cancel my Best Buy one, thinking I'll just cancel it later. The problem was the free game in my Best Buy free thing was Pikmin 4. So I got Pikmin 4 for free. I didn't pay a thing for it. I couldn't cancel the Mario thing. So I was on the horn with them for 4 or 5 days. Could I swap a game out? Could I do this? Could I do that? They ended up canceling all of that. I'm like, just cancel the order, whatever. Just cancel it. I'll just stick with the Mario RPG part of that order, and I'll figure something else out. I had forgotten to do the Princess Peach stuff, and I forgot to do the other one. And then Best Buy stopped their buy 2, get 1 free. So I missed out on all these free games that I was going to get for the Switch. But that was a smart-ass deal because I could have pre-ordered a lot more shit than I actually did. I ended up only pre-ordering 4 games, but still. These are all games I was going to buy anyways. But yeah, Alan Wake 2, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to Spider-Man 2. I'm looking forward to... I'm replaying Final Fantasy VII Remake because I want to get through that because 7... Rebirth looks fantastic, and then Final Fantasy 16 I want to play, and this has been a year. I haven't even touched Starfield. I don't know if I'm going to touch Starfield. I don't know if I'm ever going to get back to Baldur's Gate 3 because that game is like Minecraft to me in that it's just over fucking whelming and for me it's cool. Yeah, I get it. People love it, but guess what game was also never game of the year? Minecraft. And Baldur's Gate 3 is the RPG version of Minecraft, I feel. No, so yeah, and will I play Call of Duty? I'll probably end up playing Call of Duty this year at some point. More than likely. I'll probably play there's another game coming out, whatever. I'm like, yeah, it's just too fucking many of them, dude. There's just so much shit coming out. It's nuts. It's nuts. But you know what else is coming out was that Pokemon Gray. Did you order that Pokemon, some stuff from the Pokemon store to get Pikachu with the gray cap?
I went to the website and it was absolutely unfunctional.
Oh, really?
I couldn't, I was trying to find stuff. It's like, no items available for your
Wow, people bought that much shit already. Good Lord. Well, speaking of Pokemon,
the website may have just been broken for
that could have been it too. Yeah. The other day, Best Buy had Pokemon cards for $2.49. So I bought a couple packs for a few bucks. basically.
Which sets you get there, boy? I see that looks like
I just got the
obsidian
obsidian.
flames.
I just got obsidian
Okay.
flames. I am. This is the time of year with which Best Buy, Walmart, Target, you can buy stuff right now, and you don't have to return it until end of January, whatever,
Yeah.
sometime beginning and middle, end of January. So if something comes up on sale for a relative, I'm letting you guys know, for yourself, buy shit today and then just keep rebuying and returning, buy and return. You'll always have that lowest price. That's the tip that you hear all the time, and it's so worth it. So I went and I bought a few Pokemon packs from Best Buy for my nephews because they love Pokemon. That's what their Christmas gift is every year, is Pokemon cards. They love open up. What was that?
You can go to sidequesting.com right now and watch me open a 151 ETB
collection quest.
And there's going to be another. There's going to be another by Not Me coming soon, and then another of me after that.
And then I may do one as well because apparently, without me knowing, collection quest. Did you watch both of them? Because there were two of them. Apparently, I had ordered the Doctor Who Magic the Gathering, a box of those last year, and I didn't realize it, or 2 years ago when they first announced it, and all of a sudden I get a thing in the mail 2 days ago. I'm like, oh shit, check this out yesterday. Anyways, Pokemon Obsidian and Flames.
I'll open a trick or treat pack since I have 1,000.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I bought those for giveaway because they were. I will say this:
come to our panel at PAX East where we'll give away.
Hell yeah, dude, that's a great idea. No, the Pokemon pack, the cards were cheaper than a lot of the candies that I was looking at because, again, $17.99 at Best Buy if you're a part of their stupid member thing. Yeah. Which I'll be canceling soon now that this thing is over. I got
a poltergeist.
Yeah, I get. Oh, perfect for all. Why can't I fucking open this thing?
I got Shuppet and the foil in it.
Oh, there we go. I got it.
And the thing is, the foil in this one is Marshadow. So
nice. Are any of those worth anything? The cards from there, or are they?
No. I think there's one that's worth like $5 or something, but there's always like one per case.
Yeah.
Okay, the first one
we watched it 2 weeks ago, so it was probably JJ.
The original one was me opening the Obsidian, I think it was.
Yeah, the Obsidian pack. Yeah.
Obsidian, and then
which one opening up now? So there's a specific way to open it. I have it, or does it matter anymore?
No, it's the back. Yeah, no, there's no point anymore. Yeah.
Okay.
You're fine.
All right.
The back card is always the code, and an energy. Those are your back cards. And
so I'm gonna give this code to Johnny or Zach because they've been doing those codes. All right, the energy is basic energy.
Yeah. Now, if you pull that card, that's gonna be your rare card.
This is my rare card.
Yeah.
Then I'll wait till the very end to look at that rare card. Okay. Yeah. Meanwhile, it's. How many Litwick triplets did it? There you go, Litwick. That's a great joke. It's a song from, if you watched Hulu, Murder, Only Murders in the Building. How many? Young Goose. The Donald Trump hair. Yeah.
The Donald Trump weasel. Yeah.
Yep. Well, yeah, two things at once. Charmander.
I love that Charmander.
Charmander, it's a nice one.
Grumpy boy.
Yeah. Dratini, check him out. Dratini,
always good to have a Dratini in your deck because Dragonite's a great card.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know that. Umbreon.
Oh, fuck yeah, my boy.
That's my next tattoo.
It's my next tattoo, probably.
Oh, is it cool? Poppy.
Oh, Poppy. Trainer card.
Lunatone. And I got 3 cards left. I got a
2 reverse hollows and a
crab roller.
Reverse hollow?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
The reverse hollow. And then I have Lampent. And finally, Houndoom.
Oh, yeah, you got an X, yeah. Houndoom, I don't know if he killed you or me.
Yeah, I don't know. There we go. Okay, Houndoom. Yeah, I raised it up to the camera and it murdered the Houndoom EX. It's a nice looking card, actually.
Yeah, no, I like the EX cards. Have a good effect on them.
So that's where I'm at. That's what I got.
Most of them aren't worth much, but They look good.
Yeah. So it's funny. I have a bunch of unopened packs of crap that. Yes, I know I froze. Houndoom did it. Of crap that I had purchased since like 2019, since 2020, when everyone went Pokemon crazy in 2020 for the cards. And I'm officially in the. I need to start selling my crap because I've accrued too much of too many bills, and there's strikes going on everywhere that's starting to affect my livelihood. So I'm like, you know what? Got to start selling things. So I've already sold like stuff on Marketplace. I've got some comics and graphic novels that I'm going to be putting up there soon for sale. And I got these unopened Pokemon card packs. I'm like, I might throw some of those up there and see what if I can get anything extra.
I mean, the older the packs get, the more valuable they get. So
so I'll take a look at what I got and see what it's going for.
If only you had some of those generation sets.
Yeah, do not have that. I have some McDonald's ones. That's about it, though. With that, we're gonna let you guys go. We're signing off for the evening. Thank everybody for joining us. Thank you, JJ, for taking time out of your extremely busy schedule to hang out and talk video games. Thank you to all of our viewers, all of our all the companies that sent us codes, and we'll see you. You can find us at sidequesting.com, SideQuesting TV on the socials, and just hop into the Discord over at SideQuesting because that's where we do fun stuff. I did have to put that stupid link up there. I'm gonna say it until I actually do it. Eventually, I'll do it.
Okay, good.
With that said, we'll see you in the next episode of The Side Quest.